All right, we are back. Let me get myself situated before I go back to broadcasting. Had to do some chores for my family, and I just ate some dinner, so that's why I'm doing a two-parter. But hopefully, I get this done before the end of the day because that'd be nice. Let's see. Okay, so where we left off is the bottom of the third inning. The game is tied 0-0, and if you are following online, you can go to 43-25, and that is where we left off. I'll just get myself a bit more situated, and then we will start. Or rather, resume. It's already the bottom of the third inning. This game is speedily coming along. Here's Tony Womack, the leadoff hitter who flew out to Bernie Williams his last time up. Womack on the year went batted 260 with 3 home runs, had 28 stolen bases in 125 games. He had 30 RBIs and 66 runs scored. He has good speed at the top of the order and is certainly a threat to go. Face bunt there, but takes a strike anyway. 1-1. Clemens has had it a bit rough the last 2 innings. Had to work himself in and out of jams. A couple of them self-imposed. So 1-1. And the slider in there for strike 2. It was an error on his teammate Tino Martinez, but he still did not catch the ball. Frankly, because it seemed as if Craig Counsell slid in feet first, which probably tripped up Clemens. So 1-2. It's a fastball miss. 2-2. It may have been an awkward play, but that definitely seemed to be a part of it, as Clemens did kind of have to recalibrate himself after that play. And then the following inning, he walked Bautista, and then there was a single by Mark Grace for striking out 2 batters. And there it is, 3rd strike in a row, as Tony Womack could not handle the high heat. So perhaps this is a change in form for Clemens. Still doing a great job, still not allowing any runs. And for the most part, all there is just a walk that he just lost control of the batter, which happens. A ground ball that turned into an error and just hits a left field. So he's still pitching very well. He just had to work himself in and out of jams the last 2 innings, which happens. And of course, the bottom line is that he's not giving up runs. If he continues that pace, then of course he'll be just fine. Fastball misses outside, 1-0. There is Counsell who reached on an error the first time up. Clemens stares in. Here comes the 1-0. And a big swing and a miss. Counsell was swinging for the fences there. Just a bit too late in the swing. Just missed with that mighty cut. Counsell is no stranger to bait situations as well. There's a lot of players, obviously, in the Yankees, but a few players in the Diamondbacks as well who are no strangers to bait situations. And Counsell once again reaches base, this time safely, and through his own accord, getting a single up the middle. However, Counsell was actually the winning run of the 1997 World Series. When Edgar Renteria hit that famous walk-off hit, Counsell was the player that came in to score. A really nice piece of hitting there. As I mentioned, he has great contact skills. He's a good leader. He's smart, and he's one of the smarter players in baseball. And you saw that right there, just hitting it right back up the middle, getting things started for the Diamondbacks and for Luis Gonzalez as well, their best hitter by far. Last time when Gonzalez was batting, he grounded out to the first baseman, Tino Martinez. But it was a hit and run play, so Counsell avoided the double play. Wonder if they'll try something of a similar caliber here. Clemens is wary of it. Perhaps that's why he's throwing over a couple of times. He could also, perhaps it isn't nerves. Nonetheless, he has been throwing over to first base a lot today. He seemed to have thrown over around 5 times his first time up, and this time a couple more. Perhaps it's the World Series and it's Game 7. He just wants to keep him close. At the same time, though, it does seem a tad excessive. Although when you're Roger Clemens, you know exactly what you're doing. So, by all means, he certainly has reason to do that. Especially with Gonzalez up, who is just such a phenomenal hitter. Where did that one miss? Oh, no, that was a strike. Okay. Looked like the umpire didn't raise his arm for a second, which is a little weird. Wow. Clemens, that was his 50th pitch of the game. So he has really been working hard, throwing 21 pitches in the first inning and 20 pitches in the second. Hopefully this will be an easier inning for him this time around. I'm sure he'd love a double play right now. Pitcher's best friend. Prior to his last at bat, Gonzalez is batting 6 for 22 in the World Series, a cool .273 batting average. Home run back in Game 1. Had 2 doubles, 4 RBIs, 4 runs, and get a load of this, 11 strikeouts. That's a lot, but he has contributed, of course, as that ball is rope foul. He has certainly hit the ball well when it is counted. Although 11 strikeouts in 22 at bats, that's about a strikeout every 2 at bats. That's definitely a lot. However, when the postseason comes around, it's always more difficult for players because you're facing the best. So despite him contributing, which is obviously great for the Diamondbacks, the players are going to struggle, even someone as talented as Gonzalez. Fastball missed upstairs. Gonzalez is not the speediest of players, so Clemens can easily get a double play if there's a ground ball. Yankees do have a pretty slick fielding infield as well, with Jeter at short and Tino at first and Brocious at third. Snap throw to first base, not in time. But down goes swinging Gonzalez for out number 2. Really good pitch by Clemens. Handcuffed him with that fastball as Gonzalez is unable to catch up to it. And Counsell was leading. He was pretty far off the bag. Perhaps if Martinez was just a bit closer to the base, he would have had a shot. But since he was playing in front of the bag, he had to reach all the way over and couldn't get Counsell. Here is Matt Williams, who struck out swinging to end the first his last time up. Comes the pitch. Fastball missed outside. 1-0. It seems as almost if every player on this team is no stranger to the biggest stage. Williams himself played on the 97 Indians. So you have Counsell, you have Schilling, you have Williams, and Clemens. They all have been in huge moments. A lot of postseason experience between the two teams. Ball's dribbled foul. 1-1. Williams played in the Giants before he played the Indians. He played with them from 1987 to 1996, where he's a 5-time All-Star, a 4-time Gold Glove winner, 4-time Silver Slugger, and was a National League home run leader in 1994. Had 43 home runs in that shortened season. And ball high dribbler to third. Boras barehands it, fires to first, scooped up by Martinez. He can't handle it. And Williams will be safe at first. So Martinez has really struggled tonight at first base. First on that tricky grounder from Counsell, and now not being able to scoop up Brocious. That will be an E5. Man, as a first baseman, you really got to help out your infielders, especially in this with this tough of a play and this intensive a situation. Brocious did all he could there. That was the only play he had to barehand it. And it's terrible for the Yankees that Martinez wasn't able to field that. Again, there's only been 2 hits against Clemens today. He has 2 hits, a walk, and 2 errors. So the defense, Cody himself has not been too kind. Here is Finley. Takes a fastball upstairs. Finley led off last inning and grounded out to Jeter. Hit a rope to Jeter, actually. But he got on a clean 1 bouncer before firing him out at first base. Here comes the 1-0. Strike right down the pipe, 1-1. Finley perhaps waiting to see strike 1 before swinging the bat. 140 games this season, Finley batted .275 with 14 home runs, 11 stolen bases, 27 doubles, 73 RBIs, and 66 runs. Popped up and skied out of play to the left-hand side. 1-2. Finley appeared in yesterday's game as a pinch hitter where he went 0 for 1 with a walk. And now a mound visit with Posada. Probably trying to figure out the best way to strike Finley out. Overall, Finley has had a pretty good World Series. Before entering tonight's game, he was 5 of 15, batting .333, a home run off Mike Mussina in Game 5. Here comes the 1-2. And good take from Finley. Thought about chasing that high heat, but let it go. Another pretty lengthy inning for Clemens, and the error from Brocious, or really rather the failed scoop by Martinez, really hurt the Yankees. Wonder how long he'll be able to pitch tonight. Yankees would love to get at least 6 or 7 innings out of him, then just turn it over to Rivera, who has never blown a World Series save. So once it goes to Rivera, it's almost locked down. And it gets him on the changeup. Finley strikes out swinging. Clemens picks up his fourth strikeout, and once again, he strands several Diamondback runners. The Diamondbacks do not score. They pick up a hit. They also had an error and strand two men on base. We are back at the top of the fourth. The score's still tied at 0. Although the Yankees did pick up a hit from O'Neill, who had a double, who tried to stretch into a triple way back when in the first inning. The Yankees have only had 9 batters face Schilling so far. And Jeter getting a second at bat now. Hits a ball a tad low and outside, 1-0. Jeter struck out looking in his last at bat. Ball fouled away. Not the prettiest of swings from Jeter there. But when you're facing Schilling, you make a fool or make a lot of rough swings for everyone. Jeter had one of his best seasons this year. 150 games, he batted .311, 21 homers, and 27 stolen bases. He also had 35 doubles, 191 hits, 110 runs, and 74 RBIs. So quite the season from Jeter. Here comes the pitch. Could not have Jeter bite on the slider in the dirt, 2-2. There are certainly a new breed of shortstops among us, with A-Rod, Garciaparra, and Jeter, some of the best household names in the game. You can include Miguel Tejada in that conversation as well. Just these big 6-foot monsters who are just very capable of playing the field and have great bats. Gets a piece of that one and stays alive. And Jeter is one of the best contact hitters in the game. Really having a good at bat, fighting off Schilling right here. Diamondbacks actually depend a lot on their starting pitching. And so far, they have only had Schilling, Johnson, and Miguel Bautista start games for them. As there are no other bullpen, such as Kim, who's given up some big 9th-inning knocks. It's been tough on them. Well, skied to Bautista, who makes the catch for out number 1. Of course, Danny Bautista did not pitch. That was Miguel Bautista, who started for the D-backs. And here is Paul O'Neill. It's a sole hit for the Yankees this game. Fastball missed outside, 1-0. actually had some pretty good speed this season. He was a 2020 player. 267, 21 home runs, 22 stolen bases. Also legged out 33 doubles as well. Takes that changeup outside. 2-0. Also a pretty good contact hitter, 48 walks, 59 strikeouts. Very respectable. O'Neill not too happy about that one. The Warrior, as they call him, shakes his head. That was clearly outside, but a pretty good frame from Miller. Pretty good two-way catcher you have there. A good pop. Usually 10-plus homers a year. You can see by the framing there, he's not a bad catcher, defensive catcher either. Neal got a good swing off Schilling the first time around. Now he's in a hitter's count. Let's see what he can do with the damage here. Good take. Not a 3-1 pitch you want to go after. 95 from the black. It's a good take right there. The Arizona faithful is loving it right now. They're waving their flats, hoping for Schilling to get the strikeout. O'Neill prolongs the at-bat. Take a look back at that relay throw in the first inning. And it was a pretty good idea to try to go for third. That went all the way to the wall. Didn't look like Bautista was going to get there in time, but he's a pretty fast player, so he got there in decent time. Oof, that nasty slider. O'Neill doesn't want to see that swing again. Schilling picks up his fourth strikeout of the game. So 2 away. Here's Bernie Williams, who flew out to center fielder Steve Finley last time up. And you could see the tumbling action of the slider. O'Neill was going to take it the whole way there, but it's a full count. You have to protect the plate, and that's what he was trying to do. Another tough swing. Got Williams way out on his front foot on that one. 0-1. Entering tonight's game, Williams went 5 for 20 for double, 4 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Takes the slider low, 1-1. The changeup missed that time too, 2-1. I just would love to see a 2-out rally right here. Williams can certainly run. He stole 11 bases this year, but still has a lot of wheels in him. Don't let those 11 stolen bases fool you. So ball triples foul. If Schilling gets out Williams here, that'll be his 10th batter in a row. And another 1-2-3 inning. It'll be his third consecutive one. And straight 3 call to the inside corner. 97 on the inside corner. Williams, that was a tad inside, throws off the helmet. It doesn't matter. The Diamondbacks and Schilling are keeping this game scoreless as we head to the bottom of the fourth. We are back. Bautista due up. Takes a fastball upstairs. Bautista, Grace, and Miller all due up. In his first plate appearance, Bautista walked, hoping to get things started again for the Diamondbacks. Break open this scoreless tie. Long hold from Clemens, and they'll have to reset. Clemens stares in. Shakes off Posada, now agreeing. Here comes the 1-0. Ball loft in the air. Jeter has a beat on it, but Williams calls him off for out number 1. Goes into a crouch to make that catch. Once again, a little bit of a late call from Williams, but hey, he got the job done. He got the out. And again, Game 7 of the World Series. All the more reason to feel nervous. That could be a possible explanation, or maybe perhaps Williams didn't see the ball as well, or just wanted to secure. Good take from Grace, who singled his last time up to left field. He has 1 of 2 hits on the day for the Diamondbacks. Once again, the fastball misses outside. Grace has not been to the postseason in quite some time before 2001. He's a high strike upstairs. The last time he went to the postseason was in 1989 at the Cubs. They made it to the championship series and eventually lost to the pennant-winning Giants. They played 14 straight seasons with the Cubbies. Check that, 13. And that ball eludes Jeter to go into the outfield. See how they score that. Another hard knot the opposite way. Once again, Clemens not benefiting from his defense there. That has got to be an error. That one, Jeter was just unable to pick, and it rolled up on his wrist and skid into the outfield. Once again, Clemens will have to get through this Diamondbacks lineup, despite his defense not helping him out too much. Good thing they're at the bottom of the order, though. If he can get out Miller, there's a good chance he can get through this inning without having to face the top of the order. As Miller swings through the fastball, 0-1. Stares in. It's pretty menacing glare under that cap. Fouled away. Like when you're facing the Rocket in Game 7, the probable AL Cy Young Award winner, and he's staring at you 60 feet, 6 inches away from you, that's menacing. I don't care if it's Game 7. I don't care if it's Game 1. That is a tough guy to face regardless. And he is so focused on a game. There's recounts of him when he infamously threw the bat at Piazza in the last year's World Series that he was just so locked in that he thought he was the ball. And gets a strikeout there. Clemens doing a good job to retire Miller, alleviate the threat. He only got him on 3 pitches, too. So I'll bring his pitch count as well. And with that strikeout, that is Clemens' 7th K of the game. So he struck at the side last inning. Should rack up another strikeout here facing Schilling, which would be his 8th of the day, of course. Fastball misses upstairs. Here comes the 1-1. Actually, a pretty good piece of hitting by Schilling there as he roped that one foul. Off the end of the bat, but he still connected with that one pretty well. Nonetheless, it is pretty tough to face Clemens, who went 20-3 in the year, 220.1 innings pitched with a 3.51 ERA and 213 strikeouts. So menacing to be up against. And he gets a strikeout, number 8 in the game. Once again, Clemens alleviates the situation, bails out his defense. As we head to the 5th, there is still no score. We are back. Martinez, Posada, and Spencer will be batting in this top half of the 5th. The changeup misses outside, 1-0. Martinez in his last bat struck out. He was showing second strikeout victim. This time around, though, Martinez is quickly ahead 2-0. And wow, look at the difference between these two. Schilling has given up just 1 hit and has thrown 48 pitches. Clemens, on the other hand, has given up 4 hits and has allowed 75 pitches. That fastball, that was, you could see on the overlay, certainly off the plate. That's in the right hitter's batter spots. Not looking too pretty there. That's a tough pitch for Martinez to take. Ball grounded foul. 2-2. Well, I do believe that they called Mark Grace's rope to Jeter a hit rather than an error. Additionally, they called the ball hit to Brocious They also called that a hit as well. There's only one error in the day, and that is from Martinez. Could go either way there. Here comes the full count. Good cut by Martinez, right on that ball. Occasionally, you'll actually see hitters smell the bat after they foul the ball right back to the screen. If you're square in the nose, sometimes you can smell the burnt wood of the bat, which means you're right on it. In fact, on even more rare occasions, you'll see players lift the bat, see if they can even taste the burnt wood. It's a 3-2. Good at bat by Martinez, trying to get something started for the Yankees. It's the middle of the order's due up. Not the fastest of guys, but still, any way you can reach base. This is a great team, this New York Yankees. And everyone has a role. Everyone moves station to station. Not too many guys who are the biggest power numbers, Martinez definitely being the highlight of them. Fouls that one back to the screen. He led the team with 34 bombs this past year. But nonetheless, a lot of players in the Yankees, they have pretty good contact skills, pretty high batting averages, and they like driving people in. Do a very good job of that. Diamondbacks scored too. I mean, yesterday, for example, they scored 15 runs. Yankees, 294 previous postseason games. That was the most lopsided loss in history. Really good job by Martinez there. That slider was coming right at his knees. Really hard to just get a piece of wood on that. You can see that ball darting in. Martinez still able to stay alive. Could be a crucial at bat right here. Perhaps we get even Schilling riled up. Fouled off again. This might be the best at bat for the Yankees this game so far. And this year, Martinez very well could be the best Yankees hitter. By that logic, it's only fair enough that he's having the best at bat of the game so far. A high fly ball, that won't do the trick. Finley's camped under it, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Oh, a good at bat nonetheless. Perhaps the on-deck batters such as Posada, and after him, it will be Shane Spencer. Hopefully those two batters got to see their fair share of pitches, paying attention on the on-deck circle. You can use that to their advantage. Schilling starts out with ball 1 to Posada. With the out of Martinez, it's now 11 in a row for Schilling. Strike 1. Again, pretty much the same location, but that time he gave it to him. Perhaps a tad more closer to the outside corner. Still, the home plate umpire has not done a great job of calling the outside corner. There's a bit of fair share of pitches that have been near the right-hander hitter's batter spots. Definitely a pitcher's umpire, to say the least. And Schilling looking for his strikeout right here. Here comes the pitch. Posada lays off the slider in the dirt. Although the Yankees have a no facial hair policy, Posada really sporting that kind of fadeaway goatee right there. Don't see all of it. And straight 3 called. Schilling gets his 6K of the game. Posada, see you later. Trots back to the dugout. That's 12 in a row right there for Schilling. He is putting on quite the performance. And honestly, I would not be surprised if he wins World Series MVP and the Diamondbacks are able to win this game. First of all, it'd be amazing that they came back from a 3-2 deficit. It'd also be amazing that Schilling pitched in Game 1 excellently, Game 4 excellently, and now Game 7 so far he's doing a tremendous job. Spencer takes the ball low. His last time up, he lined out to the center fielder. In 80 games this season, Spencer batted .258 with 10 homers and 46 RBIs. Leads off the changeup that time around. It's a 2-0. Changeup misses again. Could we see Schilling's first walk of the game? This would be the first base runner since the first inning. Additionally, Schilling has not even pitched out at the stretch yet. So that'd be a first if Spencer can reach base. Swings 3-0 and pops it up. Who's going to catch it? Counsell calls off Finley and makes the catch for out number 3. That's 13 in a row for Curt Schilling. He is on his horse right now, as we are still scoreless as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Here's Womack to lead off the inning for the 3rd time tonight. Womack is currently the all-time stolen base leader for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, while that sounds impressive, and to Womack's credit, it still very much is. He is quite the speedster. It also helps that the Diamondbacks have only been around since 1998, and he's been with the team since 99. But in that season, in 1999, he had 72 stolen bases. Here comes the 1-1. And the slider misses upstairs, 2-1. And although he had just, quote-unquote, 28 stolen bases this year, he is such a threat to go on the base paths. So far, he has not reached base safely. He has flown out and struck out in his first 2 at-bats. That fastball misses upstairs. Man, oh man, with this 3-1 count, he's in a good position to get base hit ball 4 right here. Diamondbacks would love for him to cause havoc on the base paths. Really try to test Posada's arm right here. So it's not a terrible defensive catcher, but certainly more of an offensive catcher. Clement works the count back full. So far, he's done a great job avoiding danger. There has been runners on each and every inning, but he has gotten out each time. And the payoff. Ball dribbled to Soriano, throws to first in time, gets it out by about 2 steps, 1 away. So good job by Clemens to come back there. Here's Counsell, who's reached base twice, one of them safely. He reached on air his first time around, and in the third inning, he reached on a single up the middle. That one actually nearly took Clemens' head off, too, which would be a much different story if that was the case for the Yankees. First of all, you would see Clemens headless, which would be very scary, more scary than him on the mound right now. But secondly, it'd be scary because the Yankees don't have too many guys leading up before Mariano. Is that slider Dunson for strike one? Perhaps they could use Mussina as a reliever, but they would need their guy Clemens in there. Nobody better, no one who they trust more than Clemens right now. Here's the 0-1. Changeup missed outside. Both pitchers working quickly. This game is speeding on by. Dribbled right back over the head of Clemens. Jeter will have to make the quick play, and he gets him out. Great job by Jeter. Great hustle. He went towards the middle, just in front of second base, and in one swift motion, he threw out Counsell. Really good job. Flashing his defensive potential, making up for that screecher of a liner from Mark Grace last inning. And really looked like that Counsell would be on base for the third straight time, as that ball just eluded the glove of Clemens. Really nice job by the Yankee shortstop right there. 2 away. Here is Luis Gonzalez, who the Yankees have kept quiet today so far. He is grounded out to third and struck out swinging as well. Shot that ground to first back in the first inning. Clemens looking to have his first 1-2-3 inning. That'd be great for the big righty. And there's a strike dot on the outside corner. 0-1. Actually, Luis Gonzalez has history with one of the Yankee players here. He attended the same high school as Tino Martinez. It was Thomas Jefferson High School, and they were both together in 1985. He also played American Legion Baseball for Post 248, where Martinez played for them too, but also Gary Sheffield, Tony Russo, and Lou Piniella. So Gonzalez comes from a very good baseball background. Laying off the changeup there now to count runs to 1-2. Clemens looking to have yet another strikeout right here. Will not get it this time, but nice play by Soren. Stays with it, throws to first. It will not be in time. Looks like it was going to be a very impressive play as that ball was smote to his left-hand side. Actually, no, it gobbled him up. It bounced off the top of the glove. He tried to block his body, but just not enough. Gonzalez, although he hasn't stolen too many bases over the past couple of years, he really can get down the line still. Once again, the defense not looking too sharp. Really, you see a great play from Jeter and then not the best play from Soriano. So that's tough for Clemens. He will not have his 1-2-3 inning. Here is Matt Williams, who struck out swinging back in the first and had a single to Brocious back in the third. As mentioned earlier, Williams had 43 home runs in the 1994 season. Of course, in 94, the season was shortened because of the players' strike. But Gonzalez is actually on pace to perhaps best Maris's home run record. And that was before Sosa. McGwire passed it in 98, and eventually before Bonds passed it this past year. he was on pace to have around 60 home runs, so it would have been very close. He's doing a great job. Ball ground to short. Jeter goes the easy way, and once again, Clemens avoids trouble. As we head to the sixth, still no runs from either side. The Diamondbacks strand one as we head to the next inning. We are back. Schilling has retired the last 13 batters. Will Soriano will be his 14th victim. That ball skied away. 0-1. Yankees are led by manager Joe Torre, who had a pretty lengthy career as a player, actually. He played on the Cardinals, the Braves, and the Mets. He's a 9-time All-Star and a National League MVP, as well as RBI and batting champ leader in 1971. Scooped up in the dirt now, 1-1. He has also won 4 World Series in the past 6 years and could make it a 5th if the Yankees are able to win this game. It's pretty amazing, too, because he had to replace Buck Showalter, who took the Yankees to their first ever wildcard game back in 95. First ever wildcard berth, I should say. 2-1. And when he first came up, the Yankees were under 500 to start. They called him Clueless Joe. He once again had to prove himself in the World Series as well. Soriano fouls it off, 2-2. As he was down 1-0 to start the World Series. In fact, there's a famous story of the boss, George Steinbrenner, who has fired dozens of managers over the years, including Billy Martin, Lou Piniella, Dick Howser, just to name a few. Not too many of the Yankee managers have lasted. Actually, in his first year he bought the Yankees, it was Ralph Hook had the longest tenure. He served from 1966 to 73. And there we go. Get 14th batter down in a row for Schilling. As Soriano's down on strikes, 1 away. Regardless, he told the boss that our team isn't looking too good right now. I don't know if we can win the next game. But I will tell you this, we'll win the next 4 games after that. And that's just what happened. The Yankees were down 2-0 in 96. Came back to win the next 4. Well, this time around, the Yankees were also down 2-0. You have to wonder if there's a similar conversation between Torre and the boss. 0-1 to Brocious. Regardless, he's certainly on the hot seat. I can't imagine the boss firing him after a World Series attempt, but this wouldn't look too good on the Yankees after being up 3-2 and after the devastating 9/11 attacks that just wrecked the nation. If a team needed it most, it would be the Yankees. They would love to have their first 4 straight championships since they won 5 straight from 1949 to 1953. Here comes the 0-2 to Brocious, and he does not hold up, showing us back-to-back strikeouts, now 15 in a row. You'll probably get number 16 right here with the pitcher due up. He's unwilling to take out Clemens so far, despite already giving the Yankees 5 scoreless and probably pitching around 90 pitches. Nonetheless, they want him to be in there before they get to Rivera, which is very understandable. That's what they're hoping for. Probably around 7 scoreless innings, turn it over to Rivera. Hopefully the Yankees can get the lead at the time. And that'll be it. That'll be the World Series victory for them. And Clemens posed it the other way, but right there's Bautista. That was a solid 250-footer. That was a nice piece of hitting right there. But once again, Schilling very, very dominant. Yankees strand no one, do not pick up a hit. And as we head to the bottom of the 6th, there is still no score. As we start the bottom of the 6th, Steve Finley, Danny Bautista, and Mark Grace are due up. Finley has grounded out to short and also a struck-out swing, a second and third respectively. Takes a fastball upstairs, 1-0. The Diamondbacks are led by rookie manager Bob Brenly. A rookie Diamondback manager, I should say. Comes the 1-0. And ball hit up the middle. That'll dunk down for a base hit. The Diamondbacks pick up their 5th hit of the day. A good start to the 6th inning. Just what the doctor ordered. Brenly was a player for the Giants from 1981 to 1988, the Blue Jays in 88, and then finished off his career at the Giants in 89. Good way to finish it off as he made a World Series in his last year. He actually was a pretty good catcher. In 1984, made the All-Star team with a career-high 20 home runs, 80 RBIs, and a .291 batting average. And also a fun fact between these two managers, they both replaced Bud Showalter. In 1996, when Torre came to the Yankees' helm, he replaced Showalter, and Brenly replaced Showalter this year after Showalter was subsequently fired after the prior season. So history between those three managers. Finley did steal 11 bases during the season. You wonder if he will try to snag a base right here. That's a pretty good shot from Bautista. That'll go for extra bases. This might score the game's first run. William picks it up, and he will easily score it. He's throwing to third. Can he get him in time? And he is waiting for the umpire's call. Hammer zoomed out, and they do get him out. They get out. Bautista trying to stretch into a triple. Well, although the Diamondbacks do score the game's first run, it is good that the Yankees did get him out on that nice 8-6-5 relay. And Finley, who can run very, very well, easily able to score there. He had no chance of getting him at home. Clemens, who has struggled all game, not once having a 1-2-3 inning, always fighting base runners. Diamondbacks finally got to him. But the great relay from Williams to Jeter to Brocious, that'll really help the Yankees too, preventing possibly further runs. Here comes the 1-0 to Grace. Changeup in there for strike one. And that was a really great relay from Jeter too, especially. He was on his back foot and just fired the hardest fastball he can into the mid of Brocious, and it worked. Ball dribbled to second base. Soriano throws in time for out number 2. That probably would have been a run for the Diamondbacks had Bautista made it to third safely. It also doesn't help that he didn't really slide. It's almost as if he jumped into third. Didn't really help his cause too much. If he had a straight slide, then perhaps Brosius wouldn't have gone to tad down on him in time. Just something to think about. Could be a dire moment. I think he's doing it winning this game. Big what if. Actually, it was a very close call to begin with it. On replay, looks like he may have gone in there safely. So controversial call that went the Yankees' way. It would have been a 2-0 game by now with that ground ball from Grace. Again, that relay from Jeter, just amazing. He had to hop up to catch the ball. It was a bit higher than he expected, but he still caught it and just gave that amazing throw to Brosius. He was a key cog in that play. Here comes the 1-2. Fouled away. Clemens looking for his 8th strikeout of the game. Check that, 9th strikeout of the game. And a really good changeup, but just held up high enough for Miller to get some wood on it. We do see a reliever warming up as well. Clemens takes a deep breath. Here's the pitch to Miller. And it gets him on the high heat. 9th strikeout of the day for Clemens. And a great play from Jeter. Limited the damage against the Diamondbacks. But nonetheless, the Diamondbacks do score thanks to an RBI double from Danny Bautista. We had a 5 RBI game the night before. As we head into the 7th, the Diamondbacks are up 1-0. Well, no better time for the Yankees to finally bust it open. The last 16 men have been retired for the Yankees, all the way back since O'Neill's been on first. So Schilling has not even had to pitch from the stretch at all during this game. It's just allowed 1 measly hit. Jeter takes a strike on the outer third. If there's anyone that can do it, it could be Jeter. Had a couple nice plays in the game so far. Now wants to show out his offensive side as well. And he does, as that ball dumps down for a base hit in front of Bautista. Getting things going for the Yankees. He has great speed too. They finally got to Schilling. Well, kind of. He's still throwing a shutout, but they finally got to Schilling after 16 batters. That's a start. That's a start. And it's a 1-run game. And this is the Yankees. And Jeter's on base. That's always good. That's always very good. And I bet you O'Neill's out for blood right now because he got thrown out third way back when in the first. He probably wants to get another hit off Schilling. I mean, anyone who's up will. Anyone who's up wants to do that, of course. But he probably wants to get a second hit of the game, drive in the game's run, and make up for that base running mistake earlier. The ball will dunk down for a base hit, so Jeter will have to halt at second. It was a hit and run. Jeter slams his knee, and O'Neill's excited too. First and second, he's finally have something going. This could be the inning for them. This could be the inning. Finally getting to Schilling. Amazing. He got 16 batters in a row. And the Yankees finally get 2 hits, more than they had all game, and 2 batters. It was also pretty crazy because Finley did not have the best read on that. In fact, he was unsure of whether to keep going for the ball. Decided to make the most of it and keep it in front, because imagine he laid out and the ball got by him. Whew. Jeter O'Neill's speed, that'd probably be a 2-1 game right now. I already see Swindle and Batista both up right now. You do have to wonder if Schilling will be taken out. Actually, he probably will be taken out because, well, he's due up next to bat. So this will be his last inning. There's no way the Diamondbacks would have him bat in the bottom of the 7th. No way. At that point, you just got to leave it to the bullpen. There are some oddballs in today's game of baseball. Some players who just don't fit the mold as much, and they're bringing a new aspect to the game. One of these players is Bernie Williams. He loves to play his guitar all the time. He will play it on the plane when the players are trying to sleep, all throughout the plane. And you can imagine, players are sometimes traveling the wee hours in the morning, but he'll always play it. In fact, there's been several instances where he's woken up Jeter while playing his guitar. And Jeter has said multiple times, "Hey, do you have to really play that right now?" And he says, "Yeah, I do." That's just who he is. Bernie, the great all-star center fielder, and also the guitar player. Perizito for the A's as well, is also a great guitar player, and he also does not fit the mold as much too. So very unique players. Williams will have to, of course, focus on baseball in this remark, as he always does. And he is such a talented and poised player. Have to fight with 2 strikes right now against one of the best players in the game. Yankees need this run right here. They need to tie it up. This will be a good time as any to break the game open. Fouls off a fastball at 97. So Schilling knows this is last inning. He is throwing the kitchen sink right now. Throwing everything he got. That was probably his fastest pitch of the game at 97. It's still amazing. He's been in the league for quite some time. He's still throwing that hard. Same with Clemens. They're both just freaks of nature. Freaks of nature that will both be eventual Hall of Famers. And look, Schilling's only had 82 pitches. He's such a monster. 57 strikes compared to 25 balls. Very accurate. Ball grounded to first to get the runner at second. So first and third with 1 out. Well, Williams is very fast, perhaps even faster than O'Neill. So not the worst thing to advance Jeter to third and have Williams on base. And a good, nice takeout slide by O'Neill to try to break up the double play. Womack did avoid O'Neill's slide in time, but that was certainly a good job to do that. And you can see Williams really hustling down the line hard, knowing that he can't be doubled off at this time right now. Miller comes out to the mound, and they're going to have a long discussion before facing arguably the Yankees' fiercest hitter, Antino Martinez. Despite not hitting too well in the series, as entering tonight's game, he's only batted .176. He still had 34 home runs during the regular season, which tops all Yankee players. All he needs is a sac fly right now. A sac fly, and the game will be tied. Good speed on third and first. Jeter can easily score on a sack. Martinez behind the count 0-1. Throw over. Martinez is no stranger to adversity. He was seen as an underdog, believe it or not, for the Yankees in the 1998 World Series. He had a comeback story because he was replaced by Cecil Fielder in the last 3 games in 96. But know what he does? Game 1, grand slam to break a 5-5 tie. And he comes through again, a single to right field. The Yankees have tied this one up. Williams have to hold it second as Bautista threw that ball right to third. Yankees finally got through to Schilling. After 16 batters, the Yankees put up 3 hits this inning. They have runner in scoring position with just 1 out in the 7th. Things are looking great for New York right now. And Tino Martinez, who, as I mentioned, just came into this game with a 176 batting average during the World Series, came through in a clutch. Just like he did in 1998. He is a postseason hero. He always will remain one for New York. And cementing his legacy right here. Especially if the Yankees can hold on. Fastball missed outside. Good speed on second base. A single should be able to score him. Sada popped it up. And there in left field is Gonzalez to make the catch for out number 2. Tough break for Posada there. He's a pretty good RBI machine. And in fact, he actually had 95 RBIs during the regular season. Right now, they're flashing back to Tino, who had that great home run in Game 4 that helped the Yankees eventually walk off. Yeah, he had a game-tying 2-run home run in the 9th off Kim. Until eventually the Yankees walked it off that same game. Back-to-back walk-offs. Pretty crazy stuff, folks. Now Schilling have to face off against Shane Spencer, who honestly looked like the next great Yankee at one point. He's kind of turned into more of a backup, kind of a versatile outfielder for New York. But he has a chance to prove and extend his Yankee legacy here. Prove that he's more than one of the best September call-ups of all time. Prove that he's a very capable player. And he is. He still can hit double-digit home runs in about 100 games. Not bad. This would certainly help him. Chet swing foul, quickly behind 0-2. This might be the biggest moment for the Yankees this game. Because come on, the Diamondbacks finally got to Clemens last inning after putting base runners on each and every inning. The Yankees have runner in scoring position right now. If both Posada and Spencer are out, that could be the moment of the game. That would be a darn shame for the Yankees. That'd be really tough for them. A big moment for Schilling, too. Ball loft in the air. Can finally get it, and he will. He will make the catch. The game is tied at 1. Him and Bautista do a little fist bump. Spencer can't believe it, hitting the ball twice hard in tonight's game off Schilling, but nothing to show for. And Schilling keeps this game at 1. Great run by Finley as the Yankees score run 1 on 3 hits and strand 2. As we head to the bottom of the 7th, this game is tied 1-1. And a big swing and miss on one. Schilling's still in the game. Wow. Why would they let him hit right now? After the Yankees roughed him up, why would they do that? I mean, I know he's pitched very well so far. But still, this is the perfect time to let someone hit for the pitcher. I don't know what Bob Brenly is thinking right now. He's the manager, obviously has more experience than I do by ridiculous amount of means. It's very different when you're a major league player, an all-star, and versus someone who played in high school. So I am sure that he knows a lot more than I do. But how in the world is he letting Schilling bat right now? There's no reason. There's no reason. I guess perhaps this will be a good call. Perhaps he'll pitch in the eighth and be fine. But hey, the Diamondbacks had two men warming up, and Schilling just got roughed up. And you also have a tie game in the seventh inning of Game 7. There is no reason for Schilling to bat right now. No reason at all. Perhaps they're just trying to make Schilling go for gold, as he could be on his way having his third complete game for the first time ever in a World Series since 1903. Got a piece of that one and fouled it back. This might be Clemens' last inning as well. As Clemens could be due up in the eighth. Will be actually, yeah, he would be due up. This will be Soriano, Barocious, and Clemens in the eighth inning. A straight 3 call in the outside corner. Schilling is down for the third time today. 1 away. Really no idea why they leave him in there. It's just an automatic strikeout. That's no offense to Schilling, no offense to pitchers hitting, but when you're facing the Rocket and you've already struck out twice and you had a bad top of the inning, not even that bad, but just your hardest inning of the game, there is no reason for you to be in there. There's no reason. Just plain and simple. Bob Brenly thinks differently. I'm sure he had a great reason, but no reason to really leave Schilling in there. Perhaps he wants him to have a complete game. Perhaps he doesn't have a lot of faith in the bullpen. That's probably the reason. Because they have a 4.15 ERA in the World Series so far, while the Stars have less than a 1.3 ERA. Perhaps that's the methodology behind it. But there's also momentum, and there's also timely hitting that you need to consider. So just very, very strange reason why that he allowed him to hit. Only reason I can think of is he doesn't want to use the bullpen because, well, Kim blew it in the 4th and 5th game. But they don't even have to go to Kim. Very strange stuff. Perhaps it'll pay off. Here comes the 1-2 to Womack. Fastball misses outside, 2-2. Womack is 0 for 3 on the day. He flown out to center, struck out swinging, and also grounded out to second. Fouls that one off. If Clemens loses this at bat to Womack, perhaps the Yankees should take out Clemens and put in Stanton, who's warming up in the bullpen right now. Because Womack is really good in the bases. As I mentioned, he's the Diamondbacks leader in stolen bases, even though this is only their 4th year in existence. He still has a threat to go on the base path, still 28 bases this year. And Clemens throws over a lot, which probably means he's not the best at holding runners or doesn't have the best time to home plate. He's probably all right. He throws hard and works quickly, but Womack can maybe get a good jump off him. We'll have to see. Counsell, too, his Counsell has hit him pretty well and might want to go lefty on lefty against him as well. It could be a thought for the Yankees. And then go to Rivera for the last 2 innings. And honestly, after that, the top of the 7th inning, it looked like Schilling was done for the night. That ball grounded past the diving Soriano into right field. Womack has his first of the game. He is the leadoff hitter. He is in great position to run. Let's see what the Yankees and what Torrey does and decides to do with Clemens. He's well over 100 pitches at this point, and we'll see Torrey comes in the mound. At least a conversation here, of course. Clemens is the Rocket, one of the greatest pitchers of all time. We'll see if he tries to tell Torrey to back off. And Clemens gives the ball away. He will be done. But a great performance from Clemens. Didn't have the sharpest stuff. Still, of course, struck out 10 batters. That always helps. But there's a lot of base runners on. He still kept the Diamondbacks to 1 run. Could be 2 if Womack ends up scoring, but we'll see if Stanton can hold him off. Back in just a few moments. Actually, with the 10 strikeouts from Clemens, that's the most in a World Series Game 7 ever. Or tied for the most, rather. We'll have to see what his final line with me, but as of now, he threw 6.1 innings pitched, allowed 7 hits, 1 walk, had 10 strikeouts, of course, and is responsible for the runner on first. Womack a threat to go. Definitely a little bit risky here, especially with Counsell being a pretty good contact hitter. Could be not a bad opportunity for a hit and run, actually. So, I'll pull that back. Yeah, here. Ooh, and they almost get him. Martinez certainly thought so. Good lefty move, lefty pickoff move from Stanton. You have to be expecting that at first. Come on, you're new into the game. You're Tony Womack at first base. You got to be expecting a throw over. That one looked very close. Just got the arm in before Martinez tagged him by the shoulder area. Not a bad idea for Stanton to be in right now, because he'll have to face Counsell, who's a lefty, and then Gonzalez, who's a lefty. So perfect time. But if that does get to Matt Williams, who is a great power hitter and a big righty, that won't be a good idea. So Stanton will have to get out these 2 batters right here, right now. Love to get a double play. I'd love to have Womack not steal a base. That would help him out a lot, too. Mendoza in the bullpen, ready to go if Yankees do end up facing Williams. Stanton is one of the most trusted relievers for the Yankees this season, not named Mariano Rivera. He went 9-4 this season with 76 games that he appeared in. And 80.1 innings pitched. He had a 2.58 ERA and 78 strikeouts. As that ball misses low. In World Series so far, he has not allowed an earned run. In 3.2 innings pitched, he has allowed no runs, no hits, and has had 7 strikeouts. Let's see if his dominance can continue here. Really sneaky move. That would have gotten me. There's a difference of why Womack is on the field at first base versus an announcer. Because he can read those pitches, but man, that one looked like he was going to the plate. Those lefty moves are nasty. It makes sense how Womack... Makes a little more sense to me how Womack was caught off guard that first pickoff throw. And he's going. And a swing and miss throw down to second. And it's a strike him out, throw him out, double play. Wait, no, it's 1-2 count, but he does throw him out. He does throw him out. Saw the appreciation from Jeter, and it looked like it was a strike 3. Nice job by Posada. He actually double clutched the ball before throwing out Womack. Posada might have led the majors in pass balls, but man, he has a cannon for an arm. And a great bat, too. Another just really close call. You saw one with Bautista earlier, and this time around, another close call goes the Yankees' way. Counts up, loops in the air. Who's going to catch it? Martinez in foul territory makes the catch, and Stanton escapes the jam. So Clemens only allowed 1 run in his total performance today, of course. The Diamondbacks do not score on any, although picking a hit, and do not score as we head to the top of the 8th. The game is tied 1-1. Well, Schilling is back out there, so he will try to go to perhaps another complete game. I wonder if the Diamondbacks do retake the lead. I wonder if they'd allow Schilling to pitch in the 9th. Could we possibly even see a Jack Morris here? This game goes to extras. Would Schilling still be pitching? I'll have to see. Here comes the 0-2 to Soriano. And he just fouls that one. That one hit the ground? Did he foul that one off and then that one hit the ground? Man, Soriano is such a good bad ball hitter. It's amazing. And look at this. Randy Johnson's warming up. He might close this out. How cool would that be? How cool would it be to see Randy Johnson close out the Yankees? As much as I want the Yankees to win, as much as New York wants the Yankees to win. That'd be insane. Soriano fouls off that high hitter. Still 0-2. So far, Schilling has given up 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run. Has given up no walks and struck out 8 in 7 innings. Soriano, deep fly ball, left field, back at the wall, yellow by baseball, folks. A solo homer to put the Yankees ahead, 2-1. Clemens and Stanton did it, and so does Soriano. Their combined efforts got the Yankees out through a 7th-inning jam, and then Soriano comes in clutch. Yankees are up 2-1. He walked it off in Game 4, and now he put the Yankees up on top, the top of the 8th. This could be the difference. This could be the difference right here. It could be all thanks to Soriano, who really came into his own this year. He's had quite the magical season. His teammates know it. He's loving it. They're all gathered around him. Man, oh man. What was Rob Bradley thinking? What was he thinking? Should have just taken Schilling out. He pitched a great game. Was coming to trouble last inning. Why would you keep him in? Why are you still keeping him in? You still have Bautista and Johnson warming up. That was a shot, too. That was no cheapie. That went several rows back. That was about 10 rows back for Soriano. Really great job by the Yankees second baseman to put them up top. And he was 0-2 as well. He fouled off a couple tough pitches before yanking one over the left field fence. As Brosius swings and misses that one 0-2. And there he is, the GOAT, Mariano Rivera, perhaps the greatest reliever ever. Although Brosius does strike out swing here, 1 away. He will be up trying to get the 2-inning save. Clemens now in line for the win. Clemens can win the game. He cannot lose the game. And you can see all the replay of Soriano walking it off just a few games ago and now putting the Yankees up on top. How fitting for a second baseman who's been through so much, through playing different positions, through going to Japan and having a very difficult time there and having to flee to the U.S. because he wasn't getting his right due diligence. And here's David Justice to try to help things out too. He's pitch hitting for Clemens. Pitch hitting for Stanton rather. So all but certain at this point that Rivera will come on in. And against Schilling all time, Justice is 10 for 34, a cool 294 batting average of 4 home runs. So if you want any hitter right now, David Justice is your guy. They're flashing back to the swing from Soriano. That was a slider that was almost about to hit the dirt. And just a really nice swing over there by Soriano. Really great job. Here comes the 2-1. And Justice fouls the one off. 2-2. So Stanton is officially out of the game. He went 0.2 innings. No hits, no runs, no earned runs, no walks, no strikeouts, and only faced one batter as well. So he got counts to pop out, and then Womack got caught stealing. Man, if he had decided not to steal there or for that call went the other way, very different ball game. And Justice hits that one up through diving Tony Womack. Yankees are killing it right now. Absolutely killing it. And again, what is Brenly thinking right now? First, the Soriano home run. Or first last inning when Yankees finally scored. Then you have Soriano at the home run. Then you have Bautista and Johnson who are both warming up. And yep, he's going out to the mound now. This could very, very well be it for him. Good job by Justice to come into the game and just get a hit and just extend this and perhaps not showing out. Showing does not look like he wants to come out right now. He is heated. Not happy with himself. Let's say he just said fine, and then he walks off the mound. He's a workhorse. He wanted that third complete game no matter what. But it's still excellent job from Schilling. But will it be enough to keep the Diamondbacks still in this game? We'll have to find out. Schilling's line right now is 7 1/3 innings pitched, 6 hits. He has allowed 2 runs, 2 earned runs. He's responsible for David Justice at first base, no walks, and 9 strikeouts. Miguel Bautista is the pitcher for the Diamondbacks. He is 1-1 in the postseason with a 2.53 ERA and 21 1/3 innings pitched. He has 13 strikeouts. Ball smoked to third. Williams fires to second, and that's all they will get. It's a really, really good slide from Justice. Takeout slide. And Counsell had no chance to try to turn 2 after that. It was a strong throw by Williams, too. Would have been an easy double play. But man, you can see Justice right there. Went way out of the baseline to the left and just tried to knock out Counsell. Lucky to not get tweeted there. But nonetheless, you will see Derek Jeter at first base. And that's all they'll get. Bautista for the 1 out, and now Jeter against the lefty O'Neill. So 1 batter. Bautista does a job, and now we'll see Johnson, who is the game 6 winner. here's Johnson. This will only be his 12th game ever that he's pitched in relief in his long, storied career. Throws over to first. Jeter back in there safely. And Chuck Knobloch will be the pitch hitter, which makes sense because why would you want to go left on left against Randy Johnson? Neal had a pretty good game too. 2 RBIs, or 2 hits rather. Good game for him. Pitch out there, but Jeter not going. And that'll smoke down the line. Will be fair. And it will. It'll go towards the corner. Oh, wait. That will be a foul ball. I think he was still chasing after it, so Jeter will have to retreat back to first base. Ooh, that was tough. That could have been a 3-1 game right there. Jeter would have easily made it with his great speed. Already at third before the left fielder Gonzalez would have picked it up. Oh, yeah, that's tough. Well, a couple of close calls have gone the Yankees' way so far, and it's only right in the baseball god's eyes that a call will go to the Diamondbacks. It's only natural in the state of baseball. Let's see if there's still hope for the Yankees to get that insurance run, much needed. As perfect, or seemingly perfect that Rivera is, they can still use some insurance. This is Game 7 we're talking about. Yankees need everything they can get. Fastball misses upstairs. You can see the velo on Johnson is a tad down. Well, he did pitch a lot yesterday, and pretty wild that he's back out here in Game 7. Don't see that all too often, but when you're a workhorse like Johnson, who racked up 372 strikeouts, which is a ridiculously high number. Maybe he can even get 400 one day. He also did that in his age 37 season, so he's getting better with time, which is just bizarre. Yeah, he's a freak of nature, and really only Johnson and Schilling could come up in this tandem and just pitch so well. Schilling, too, didn't have a full rest either, pitching games 1, 4, and 7. Jeter on the move on a 3-1. Knobloch skies it into right field. Right there is Bautista to make the catch for out number 3. Well, the Yankees do score onto Soria on a solo shot. They strand 1, and they leave. They had picked up 2 hits as well. Yankees up 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. And here he is, Mariano Rivera. The postseason alone, he is 2-0 with a .61 ERA. Yankees are hoping for nothing but smooth sailing from here. As much as they trust Clemens, and he did an amazing job. The next best guy is Mariano Rivera, who has been their trusted closer since 1997, after he took the helm away from John Wetland. He has the best ERA of all time. He has 24 saves and 25 opportunities. And he has a .70 ERA. That is ridiculous. Also, 60 strikeouts compared to 12 walks. That's unheard of. You don't ever see someone with a 5-to-1 walk to strikeout or strikeout to walk ratio. Here he is, the GOAT against the GOAT. Rivera against Gonzalez. First pitch, cutter missed inside, 1-0. Have to face the meat of the order against Gonzalez, Williams, and Finley. That went right over the heart of the plate, 1-1. These are 6 outs away from their 4th consecutive World Series victory. That cutter missed inside, 2-1. And Diamondbacks are an excellent team. They've given the Yankees so much fight right now. Will they be able to come back? Could be in walkout fashion either this inning or next one. They'll have to at least tie it up. That's an ugly swing from Gonzalez. That is what Rivera does best. The cutter that's off the plate, diving towards the left-handed hitter's knees, and they are just unable to hit that. So handcuffed in that situation. 2-2. Rivera in the regular season went 4-6. In 71 games, he had a 2.34 ERA. He had 50 saves and 57 opportunities, and 83 strikeouts and 80.2 innings pitched. He has never blown a save in the World Series. And that's saying something because he's been in 96 and 98 and 99 and 2000. Especially the last 3 years, he's been the closer. And a swing and a miss got him on the cutter. 1 away. Once again, that cutter off the plate, diving towards the lefty's knees, so unhittable. He's broken a lot of bats over the course of his career. And you could see, even from that movement on the overlay, just that horizontal movement is insane. And pretty amazing, he discovered it by accident. Rivera even called it a gift from God that he learned his cutter, because he was having trouble as a starter. And then he just, one day when he was having a catch like pitchers do before games, ball started moving. Apparently he put more pressure on his hand than normal by accident. He just kept that way. And cutter was born. Newest pitch in all of baseball existence. One of the best pitches of all time. One of the best new pitches of all time. For example, we've seen the knuckler, we've seen the screwball, we've seen the fastball, we've seen the two-seam, we've seen the changeup, we've seen the slider. A cutter is new. The cutter is so recent. We don't get to see a new pitch like that any day. And here he is, the history maker himself. And none other than the World Series in Game 7, trying to close out the mighty Diamondbacks. And a swing and a miss from Williams. Rivera's back-to-back strikeouts. Things are looking great for the Yankees right here. Just an inning and third left before they can capture their 27th World Series. That cutter at 95 upstairs, still so tough to hit. Doesn't matter who he faces, righty, lefty, he can get them all out. He's absurd to say the least. If 2 away, here's Finley, who has scored the only run for the Diamondbacks after Danny Bautista drove him in. Cutter missed inside. There's a 1-0. And ball Lace into the outfield for a hit. Well, I just said no one could hit him, and Finley decides to prove me wrong. He's had a pretty good game now, 2 for 4, and a hit in his last 2 at bats. And Bautista has been on fire as of late. 6 RBIs in the last 2 games. I think he only had an RBI the time before. Let me double check that. Yeah, he only had 1 RBI before Game 6 and now Game 7, which is not bad, but 6 RBIs in the last 2 days and putting him over Reggie Sanders, who has had himself a pretty good series. That's wild. Now look at Bautista batting 636. Wild. Strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Bautista has been through the run of the mill. He's been through several teams: the Tigers from 93 to 96, the Braves from 96 to 98, the Marlins from 99 to 2000, then traded to the Diamondbacks in that same year, 2000. Swings through that cutter behind 0-2. He would love to get a World Series victory. He's been through a lot of teams, a couple playoff teams with the Braves, or at least in 96. Here comes the 0-2. And a swing and miss, 3 pitches. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Rivera gets his 3rd strike of the inning, strikes out the side. I think he's 3 outs away from their 27th World Series. And Johnson's back in the bum too. Rivera versus Johnson. Who will end up the victor? Yankees versus Diamondbacks. Who will end up the victor? Diamondbacks strand 1 and do not score, so we head to the 9th. Yankees up 2-1. Here's Williams leading off, batting from the right side for the first time today, as Schilling is a right-handed pitcher and Johnson's a lefty. Again, those stairs. Can you imagine being a major league hitter in the batter's box, having to face Johnson and Clemens with those nasty stairs and have crazy hard fastballs? Clemens doesn't throw 100 anymore, but he can probably throw 95 when he's on full rest, if not more. Kim is in the bullpen. Interesting choice considering he's blown a couple games, but Morgan in there as well. Slider in there for a strike, 1-1. Still, imagine facing those guys, especially Johnson, 6'7". 6'7", he's coming at you that hard. Williams fouls it off, still 1-2. Williams can do it all. He can bat for average, he can hit home runs, he can play center field. He's also known for his base running, and even in his own country too. He won a couple gold medals for the Junior Olympics, or equivalent of Junior Olympics in Puerto Rico when he was growing up. So he's very impressive as Finley Couch is out number 1. So a great speedster. And you've got to love it. The Yankees can break the mold, become just the 3rd team ever of 4 straight World Series victories. And the other 2 are themselves, the 1936-39 Yankees and the 1949-1953 Yankees. Just 3 outs away for them from winning it all. It's all Rivera needs to get, their trusted closer. Hey, here's Tino, who got the RBI single back in the 7th. That put the Yankees up on top. Slider catches the outside corner. That went way off the plate, but you gotta understand, the strike zone is a 3D zone. Perhaps it caught the outside corner as it was traveling through. But we also know that this is a pitcher-friendly umpire as well, so that helps us. Well, Martinez fouls it off, 1-2. It must be so tough for all the players on the bench right now, especially the Yankee hitters, because they just want to get that taste of victory right now, and they have to sit in the dugout and just watch. They're not even on the field right now to watch and hope they can get some insurance runs and hope to win it all. Here comes the 1-2. Ball dribble to short. Going to be a tough play for Wilmot. Steps, fires to first, and in time. Great job by Grace to hold on to that low throw. 2 away. Martinez unable to get a second hit of the game. And here's Posada, who has flown out to left twice and struck out looking. 0 for 3 on the day. Entering tonight's game, he batted 4 for 19, or 211, with a double, home run, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. He swung through that fastball there on 1. You wonder if Posada gets on to the Yankees pitch run. Catchers are not very fast, and Posada fits that mold. But would he really change catchers of Rivera, especially since these two grew up playing together? As that fastball skied away. Johns gave a little more extra mustard on it. That was at 95. Would be very interesting to see. Not be totally surprised either way. Posada stays alive with that foul. Rivera anxious to get back out there, knowing that it was all between him and the Diamondbacks that can seal the fate of the Yankees championship. Johnson just trying to do his best to keep it as it is. And he strikes out Posada. Well, there you have it, folks. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th. Rivera versus the Diamondbacks. He'll be facing off at the very least against Grace, Miller, and Johnson, although there'll probably be a pitch hitter at that point. I think he's strand none and do not score as we head to the bottom of the 9th. Last hits for the Diamondbacks as they're down 2-1. Well, we are back. This is what it all comes down through. The Diamondbacks won the first 2 games. The Yankees won the next 3. The Diamondbacks won yesterday 15-2. This is a very different game, 2-1. Rivera has a chance to close it out. We'll have to start off against Mark Grace. First pitch. Cutter missed inside, 1-0. Grace on the day is 2 for 3, has 2 singles, 1 to left and 1 to short. And hit to all fields, which is important against the tough Rivera. And that ball is laced up the middle. That's his 3rd hit of the day. Good start for the Diamondbacks. The tying run is on base. The winning run is at the plate. And Grace will be pitch ran for. Let's see who's going to replace him. It will be DeLucci. David DeLucci. DeLucci is 0 for 2 in the series and came in and he's appeared in 3 games in the World Series and also has scored a run. He's not the fastest of runners, but he's definitely faster than Grace. And when it's the tying run of Game 7, you need every one that you can get. Shows bunt. That's fouled off. I can't imagine him running right now. They just want to leave it up to Miller. Let's see if he tries to bunt again. Rivera throwing to first. Got to be careful with those throws. That one was a tad low. Be horrible if that got by Martinez. Here comes the 0-1. Shows bunt again. This one's good. Rivera wheels to second, and it goes by Jeter into center field. Well, at least DeLucci will have to stay on second. Jeter's slowly trying to get up. Man, you don't want Jeter out of this game right now. Olsen isn't bad, but you want Jeter in this game. Jeter gingerly walks off. Well, you can't take him out of the game. I know, at least from Jeter's look, he would never, ever let someone take him out of the game, especially in this situation. But man, DeLucci really slid right into him. Doesn't help that his hand was kind of blocking it too. That will be an error on Rivera. That's tough right there. Not the best throw, of course, but Jeter certainly could have caught that if he wasn't slid in by DeLucci and his arm wasn't blocking it and his arm didn't get crashed into. It's not easy for Jeter. Nonetheless, the Diamondbacks have the winning run on first and the tying run on second. Yeah, no way Jeter's coming out. He's too much of a champ to let that happen. Here's Jay Bell. Jay Bell will be pinch hitting for Johnson. Johnson's final line is as follows. Inning in third, no hits, no runs, no walks, and a strikeout. So really nice performance, especially after that Game 6 victory the other day. Bell can win it right here, one of the better hitters in baseball. Showing bunt. This one's good too. Rivera's going to fire to third in time. Get the lead runner. Good job by Rivera making up for the last play. And failed bunt attempt by Bell. Advancing to second is Miller. Or rather, Cummings, who is pinch running for him. Really interesting stuff to do. Back-to-back bunts. Bell's not a bad hitter either. But I guess second and third, if one outlets, pretty darn good. Yep, there is Cummings making his way to second base. Bell is taken out. Hold on one second. Cummings came in for Miller. How was? Just making sure. Yeah, Cummings came in for Miller, and Bell is still on first base. That makes more sense. 2-0 count to Tony Womack. Not what you want to do right now. You don't want to have a 2-0 count to the leadoff hitter. Because Womack and Counts are great contact hitters, and then Luis Gonzalez moving just 2 batters away. He's want to secure their chance, of course. They want to get up Womack and Counsell right now. Here comes the 2-1. Skied away. Rivera does rack up a lot of strikeouts. Remember, he did have, what was it? Let me just double check. He had 83 strikeouts and 80.2 innings pitched, which is remarkable. So he is definitely a strikeout artist. And Womack singles into right field. This will tie the game. Coming around to score is Cummings. He ties the game. Throw goes to home, and we have, I'm guessing, runners on second and third. Womack went all the way to second base. So, wow. Second and third went out. Diamondbacks came back. With Rivera pitching, he blew a save, his first ever blown save in the World Series. Tony Womack coming in clutch. Over 3 for his first 3 at-bats, and then 2 hits in his last couple. So scoring the tying run is Cummings. And on third is Bell, and on second is Tony Womack, of course. It's up to Craig Counsell right here to try to save the Diamondbacks. Try to lead them to victory. Infield playing in. Counsell fouls it off his foot 0-1. So it looks like Rivera will have to face Counsell, and then right after him is Gonzalez. Arguably the best hitter in baseball this year. Besides Bonds and maybe Ichiro. Yeah, definitely not at Bonds. So you'll probably win NL MVP. But Gonzalez is pretty close. Well, relatively close. You can't really beat Bonds, but you get what I mean. And he hits him on the hand. Bases are juiced. Rivera is rattled. He is absolutely rattled enough to face the best in the game. Man, oh man, things are looking in the Diamondbacks' favor right now. The bases are juiced. They have their best player up. Let's see where that got him. That's him right on the wrist. That's got to hurt. 95 up in the wrist. He'll get an ice pack in the morning. It'll all be worth it if the Diamondbacks can come back right here. The whole team is out there in the mound of Rivera. Well, no one better. Yankees wouldn't dare take out Rivera. He's their best. They're going to ride and die with him right here, right now. Luis Gonzalez up at the plate. The Diamondbacks are trying to win their first World Series in their short 4-year team history. It'd be the shortest ever for a team to win a World Series in expansion team history. As that ball is fouled off. Even if Rivera tires Gonzalez, Williams is right on deck, who's a very tough hitter. At the very least, the Diamondbacks can push extra innings. And who will come after Rivera? Even though he struggled, he is the Yankees' #1 guy in the pen. So things are really looking in the Diamondbacks' favor. All Rivera can do right now is just try to hold on. Take one pitch at a time. Deep breath. Here comes the pitch. And Bob blooped over the head of Derek Jeter. The Diamondbacks win it. Jay Bell scores a game-winning run. The Diamondbacks winning Game 7, 3-2. Oh, look at the teammates mob each other. Look at the crowd roar. Jay Bell scores a game-winning run, and Luis Gonzalez in an astounding 57 home run, 142 RBI, 2001 season. Who else would walk it off for the Diamondbacks? and against the greatest, perhaps the greatest closer of all time, Mariano Rivera. What a bat. Just over the head of Jeter, who was playing in. If he was at normal depth, that probably would have been an out. But no, he was playing in. He tried to nab the runner at home. The Diamondbacks win the World Series. They stopped the Yankees from winning their 4th straight. It's becoming the 3rd team ever to do so. And Randy Johnson gets the win of the series. His 3rd win of the series. And man, oh man, that is absolutely insane. Johnson, who came in Game 6, who pitched a tremendous start, comes in relief, and he gets the win. So back-to-back wins for Johnson. That's incredible. Well, as tough it is for the Yankees to lose. What a great World Series between these two teams. And what an excellent comeback from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. Had a lot of fun with this, calling this game. Definitely a lot of stuff I need to work on still, but this was a lot of fun, and I'll improve from it. And really cool to see Game 7 of the 2001 World Series for the first time. Hope you all have a good night.